Trading futures, options on futures, and forex involves a substantial risk of loss and isn't suitable for all investors. Past performance, whether actual or indicated by historical test of strategies, is no guarantee of future performance or success. There's a possibility that you may sustain a loss equal or greater than your entire investment, regardless of which asset class you trade. Therefore, you should not invest or risk any money you couldn't afford to lose. When you log into the Trading Room service, there are 3 tabs on the page. Clicking the first tab takes you into the trading room. Remember to click the unmute button.
Right, hello everyone. We're going to start the event today, Trade to Win event, which is purposely put in for everyone to join in. Today is the 31st of March 2023, and we're going to start the event talking a little bit about what we do in this live trading room that we have running, and we do that 4 times a week, 4 hours per day, on a Tuesday, Wednesdays, Thursday, and Friday when the time permits. So if you have any questions, please do let me know. I'm just gonna go over some of the things that we do in general in the room, and if you have any questions in regards to the VSA principles, please do go ahead and ask me. If you want me to cover any chart and analyze any chart as well, I'm quite happy to do that too. First of all, let me know if everybody is here and you can hear me okay. I can see a lot of people here. Please, people from my room also who are part of the chat group, do let me know if you're here in the chat area and you can hear me okay. We've got one of the guests coming in as well today, who is has been part of the trading room since the beginning. John will be joining us as well, so I'll wait for him to come in and I'll bring him in once he's here. So do let me know if you can hear me, everyone. There is a comment area, so you can just post your comments in there and let me know. Yeah, thank you very much, Tracy. Thank you. Excellent. Right, so let's get on with it and have a look. I mean, this is a Trade to Win website that you could see, and obviously the VSA Lite works on the trading view, and basically has got 6 principles, 3 on the up, 3 on the short, 3 on the long, and I will explain those to you as we go along in the event. So please, if you have any questions, please put them in as we go along, covering a few charts. And yep, hi Paul, how are you? Nice to see you again. Yeah, hi Martin, hi Jeff. Okay, let's get on with it. I think most people are here now, and let's have a look at what we do. Basically, I was looking the US 500 earlier on today in the room, and we took a trade there, and I will explain the reasoning behind it. For those of you who want to know how to get a setup on a long trade, please do not be phased out with a time frame. The principle works in all the time frames. Is that the reason I want to show you on a lower time frame is because it's what we call the super scalping, and we do that on a lower time frame because the purpose of the room is for me to do as many trades as possible and get everybody to see those setups. So we do usually we do quite a lot. Sometimes I do 20, 30, 40 trades. Sometimes I do 2 or 3, sometimes none. So all depends on the market. And but when it does happen and when there are a setup, I will explain to everyone how the setup has happened and why I entered the trade and why and when I get filled and what was the reason behind it as well. Now, if I just bring the 5-second chart, this was my entry point of the trade. I just want to explain a little bit. So I'm going to expand this chart. Now I had what is known as a trigger line. Okay. Actually, let's put solid line better. So there was a trigger line that happened there. And this happened in the US Open. When the US market opened, we had this potential professional buying appeared. We had potential professional buying previous to that as well. We had a change of behavior. Then it creates a new principle there. Once that potential professional selling appeared, but it was not confirmed. Now, for me to enter the trade, I had to wait to see a test, a change of behavior on the upside, and I saw the test coming in. The behavioral change has happened already. We went above the trigger line. Okay. And I decided to enter the trade on a down bar. And as I entered on this position, was it bought at 4064? Okay, so I entered the trade. It continued going up. I had my stop loss in place initially because I was doing the lower time frame. It was the stop loss usually are placed depending on your trading plan and what sort of fund you have, what sort of funds you're working with, and what you're happy to lose per trade. My particular trades that I take, the maximum I put in as a risk is a 1.5%. Now, that doesn't mean that you should do the same. It all depends on what your plan is. Anyway, my stop loss was around that area there. I put it as an orange dot for now, orange line. Okay. And as it's pushing up, the way, so when I entered the trade there, okay, as it was, this was my entry point. As it was pushing up, I moved my stop loss into a profit. Now, why did I do that? Is because I can see up bars. When I see 3 up bars, I move my stop loss and I'm already in profit, take my stop loss into profit, and just continue chasing the trade. So the scenario I create for myself in the trading, I put myself in a profitable place as soon as I can. Okay. Now we are talking about 5-second chart here. So the movement is quite fast. I'm not saying that you should do the same. This is the purpose of just showing you how to manage your trade. And the reason I do the lower time frames, because I can get as many trades as possible. The principles work for 15 minutes chart, for the hourly chart, for 10 minutes chart, for 4-hourly chart, for a daily chart. It works the same way. It just takes a bit longer. So now, as it's going up, the way I manage my trade, every time I had 3 or 4 bars going up, I will increase my stop loss and I will chase the trade. And this is the area where I got filled. So as it was going up, I was keep chasing and chasing the trade until I got to that point where I got stopped out. I got filled. So from here to here, overall, my trade was under 4 minutes. 4 minutes trade. I put in only 2 units because obviously my fund is only £1,000. But if your fund is a £10,000, you could have put potentially 200 units, and this would have been a potential £400 trade on a winning side. Now, you might be saying, well, okay, that's fair enough. You had that successful trade. How would I be sure to enter at that point? Why would I want to enter that point? Because, what made me decide to enter on that point? You might be saying, well, there are 3 reasons why I entered in that point. One of the reasons is that the behavioral changes already has happened. The second one, I'm above the trigger line. The third thing, I had a test. The fourth thing, I had 2 things. One, potential professional buying, confirming, not once, but twice. And then I had a PS, potential professional selling, which was not confirmed. So if that would have been confirmed, I would not enter that trade. But because it wasn't confirmed, and I had 2 confirmation principles of potential professional buying, and then I had a test, and I've gone above the trigger line and cleared the trigger line, I decided to enter. Now, this principle is a typical setup for a long trade. It's a typical VSA setup. That the condition has to be right, and the final thing I was looking at, I could see when the buying bars were coming in after the test, they were increasing. And this enabled me to think this is going to continue pushing up. And then when I entered, I had a no demand not getting confirmed. That was a good sign, the sign of strength. And it's continued pushing up. Look, more no demand, it's continued pushing up. And then eventually I got filled there because I was very aggressive and made, because you don't want to hang around too long. You want to do a super scalping trade. So you don't want to stay in for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour. That's different way of approaching your trade, which I will explain in a bit. Any questions, anyone at the moment? If you have any questions, just put them in and I will explain to you. Now I've got John here as well. Let me bring him in. Hello, John.
Good morning. Oh, or
good
hello,
afternoon.
hello,
Good
everybody. Wherever you are. Yeah.
Absolutely. You're from US, obviously, and good old US, and it's in the morning for you at the moment. So absolutely correct. So John, just explain to everyone. I mean, you've been part of the live trading room for since the beginning, isn't it? You've been there since the beginning, and you're always there. I mean, even you had an issue with your internet yesterday, I believe, but you still managed to come in and go at some point, which I saw you in. But just tell everybody where you started, why you decided to join the live trading room, and what is it that you really feel that the trading room is doing for you.
Okay, well, I've started with Trade Guider a long time ago. I'm not a spring chicken. I'm in my 60s, and I started with Trade Guider 15 years ago. However, of course, like all of us, I was in search of the Holy Grail, and Trade Guider at the time was not a quick enough fix for me because you had to put in time and actually kind of learn about VSA and the Wyckoff method and all that. But along the road of spending thousands of dollars trying to find that Holy Grail, I started realizing that some of the things that I had learned through Trade Guider and VSA were actually what I needed to be using to make money after losing thousands of dollars. And so I stepped back. I started to look into the program again, just around the time that they were going to be opening up the live trading room with Aram. And so I absolutely wanted to get involved with that. And it's literally changed my trading around, because I would think I wouldn't be wrong in assuming that most people, their emotional issues are what causes losses, not their trading issues. In retrospect, when you look at a chart, it's right in front of your face. But why didn't you stay in that trade longer, or why didn't you, take a short instead of a long? A lot of it's in your mind. So what you need is a good rule set, a trading plan, which allows you to, just stay in your plan and get out of your mind. And so while we're trading in the trading room, that's what we're doing. Actually, Aram sticks by the rules, and you see his win rate is way up, and that's all documented on the website. And it's because Aram follows the rules. And in TradingView with TradeGuider Lite, the signals are really good. And if you know if you've educated yourself at all about VSA or volume, and when you get these signals and you look at the background, it's right there in front of your face. And with a live room, you have a team of people who are contributing, and it's just, even if I'm not really trading, I like to have it on in the background, just because mentally I like to be a part of the market as well. So I definitely recommend anybody get involved with it.
Thank you very much, John. Right, so we were just looking at the US 500. I mean, I know you do the ES on the futures contract. I do the US 500 on the CFD, which I really love doing, by the way. It's really, really nice chart. It's just as volatile as the GBP USD. It's more volatile sometimes, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Seems you can make very quick buck very quickly on it if you know what you're doing. And I think I did tell everyone. I mean, this happened in the news, where we had this potential professional buying did appear, and then we had the news coming in. And the reason I put in these two lines is really I want to see how high this is going to go. There was no demand just appear on a 1 minute chart, which wasn't confirmed. It has changed behavior, but nevertheless, we've gone above that level now, which I feel they might push it up a bit higher. Now, if I squeeze the chart a bit more, you can see it's been generally going up, isn't it, John? So you'll probably be doing a lot of long trades on this.
Oh yeah, I was actually did something I usually don't do, and I stayed in the trade overnight because I saw that. And now I see maybe it's a Friday. A lot of the professionals are probably already pulled out of the market or are going to at the end of the European session. So there may be a little pullback here, but it looks very strong to me. I see on the 2 minute there's a confirmed upthrust, and a confirmed professional selling. It's just about to change behavior and trying to get under a test. So we'll see what happens there. This may just chop the rest of the day.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think I agree. But really, if you're thinking of trading the US 500 or the ES at the moment, you should really be looking for only one way, and that is the long trade, not short trade whatsoever. So it's really, for me now, I mean, as you said correctly, the uptrust has appeared on the 2 minutes chart. There's no demand, but we also got a test, and the test is more important for me in a sense.
And you also have professional buying below that, so you have competing signals, which generally means it's going to be a ping pong match. For the rest of the day, I think, in between these levels, because it wants to get over that level, and it's been a fight, but once it pops, I think it's going to shoot up.
I'm waiting for that to go a bit further up. I mean, once it goes above that up trust level, I think, and it changes behavior and keeps going up. We see another test, for example, and then go above that level. This is going to go a bit higher. I really do feel, especially we're going above that news level where it would created that large sort of high volume bar, and but we haven't seen a change of behavior in that. It's still continue pushing up, and uh, and this would probably be the case as far as the US 500 concerns. But I was explaining to everyone, John, before you arrive, that the trade that I took on their long, it was obvious reasons why, and I just explained that to everyone in this room as well. But I did it on a 5 second chart, so I'm quite brave, not John?
Well, the 1 second short's your favorite, Aram, so that shouldn't be surprising.
5 second is a bit slow. No, but this is what we are. This is what's so beautiful about the VSA is you could do it on any time frame, from the 1 second chart right up to the monthly chart. Correct? You can do
Yes.
that if you know what you're doing and you understand the principles. It's just that in the lower time frames, you got obviously more opportunities to do a super scalping, get in and out, and do that 20, 30 times in a day if you wish, and make profit. Or if you're a swing trader and you want to sit around for, say, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, then you go to the hourly chart and look. I go to the hourly chart and look, potential professional selling did appear. Nevertheless, the behavior changed. You've come to this level. This is the area where we are interested today. Funny enough, we had a test above the trigger line. We had a good sign of strength behind us, and we had a test. And this should be really the area where you should be looking to do a long trade, purely because you're above the trigger line. You got the volume that came in onto that test was non-existent, but the following confirmation was an quite a decent volume in my opinion, and that's what you can see is pushed up. And really, this would have been a trade for you to take once this gets confirmed for an hour trade. If you want to sit in this trade, this was an hourly trade that you could have taken. The entry point would have been on this down bar at some point. You would have entered, and you can see it's gone up and finished as an up bar. So this would have been a very good entry point if you follow the principles correctly, and if you have got time and you want to sit on a trade and you enjoy doing that, then great. And then you manage your trade as it's going pushing up further. Then obviously your stop loss will be in a profitable place by then. And if it comes back down on you, then obviously you get filled and you made a profit. So this is what I try to do in the room, John, isn't it? I mean, I do this regularly, and this is. I know sometimes it might be a bit boring to you, or you might say, "Oh, I'm fed up with him. Keep repeating the rules." But do you get fed up with that, or?
No, because I hear your voice before I enter a trade. And so I always
Wait.
double check myself. Yes, I always
Yeah.
go through the time frames one more time to see if I'm picking the right uh, weakness or strength.
Right. I had a question coming in from. I do apologize if you don't pronounce your names correctly. I do apologize in advance. Is it Gresgors Stuwensky? He says, "What do you mean by trigger lines? Please explain." Okay, no problem. Let's do that for you. Let me get rid of that. Let me get rid of that so it doesn't create confusion. When you have a potential professional selling or a potential professional buying appears on your VSL light, you get these two lines. Greg, no problem, Greg. I will call you Greg. Greg, When you got potential professional selling or potential professional buying appears on your VSA line, you get these two dotted lines appear for you automatically. So they are known as trigger lines or trigger bars, whatever you like to call them. Now, what do they mean by that? When I say trigger, is exactly what we mean, trigger of a trade. So if this continues to go up above that level, above that line, the upper bar, okay, the upper trigger line, you get a test. This is exactly a trigger for you to enter a trade on a long. Now, if you would have not done that and it would have come down like it's done here, below that trigger line, and you get no demand, okay, I really prefer to see the no demand happening in a continuous down move, okay. But if you see a no demand, you get change of behavior and you've gone below those test levels. These are all the things that we go over in the room. I can't really go much deeper than that, but it's a trigger for you to go in short. All right. Now this is an hourly chart, so this probably will be for an hour or two that you could stay in a trade. But this is what we mean by trigger lines. Okay, Greg? Do you understand now? Hi, Sue. How are you? Hi, Paul. Paul says that's how you learn something. You have to keep going over it until it locks into your head. Absolutely correct. Isn't that right, John? You have to keep repeating things because it's like I think the VSA is like a chemistry, isn't it? Like when you learn chemistry in school, at college, or at university, you always had to learn, always repeat things, because it's something that you can easily forget. And I think this room, what I'm trying to do is to keep repeating the rules and put that into practice. Not only just repeat it, but put it into practice in a real live trading session where we could actually see the entry point, the exit point, and why I decided to go in. And even if it goes against me, I will explain why it's gone against me, and I've lost the trade. I've lost many trades in the room, and as a trader, I think what the room does, John, is creates that atmosphere of a group, isn't it? As a community, like togetherness of, because I heard many times from people saying, "Oh, trading is a very lonely, a lonely thing." You feel like lonely, and that's why we created this live trading room so people can get involved, put charts in, and talk about their trades, and that will encourage them to become better and better, not only in a sense of encouraging them becoming better, but also learning in the process. And then there are things, John, for example, you say sometimes that makes me think, yeah, it's correct, and you are a good successful trader yourself. So when you say make comments into the chat area, that which is shared with everyone else, they will also learn from you. So I think it's a very important thing, isn't it, to do that as a trader yourself, John?
Oh yeah, well that's excuse me. That's what I really enjoy about it is just that feeling of you're not alone. You're with a team. There's other people making comments, putting up charts, and it's looking at each bar and discussing each bar. I look at it like reading music, and you look at each bar as though it was a musical note, and you look what's inside of that. Is it buying? Is it selling? Is it below the trigger bar? Is it above the trigger bar? Do we have a test? Do we have a no demand? So it's kind of makes it more fun when there's other people around. It can be really get serious when you're by yourself, but it's a lot more lighthearted when you have more people contributing and making comments, and even with different levels of traders in the room, because everybody can understand what we're doing, because we're all looking at the same rules and we're all looking at the same charts.
Absolutely correct. Yeah. Now let me have a look and see whether I can see a potential short trade on a chart, because I did explain the long trade position, but obviously it's not as simple as that. There are other aspects to it. That's why attending the room is very important, because you will learn the process of understanding to read the charts, because you need to know what is going on in the background of your chart. You want to know what is going on and in the volume area, and you want to know what principles, or as we call them, principles. I don't really like to call them principles. I like to call them really something that is more better, in a sense, is confirming this, for example, principle like uptrust. This very important to understand these things, and that's what we do in the room. Now, looking at the pound against USD, GBP USD, you could see that there was a push up in the news that today there was a sudden up move, and right now, I mean, you can see the general trend in the background is creeping up. The high getting higher and getting higher. Now we are in a level now where I think it's Friday afternoon. We're going to have the London fix in about half an hour's time. So now, what is going on? You might be saying, well, I've got an uptrust there, which we haven't talked about. That is a sign of weakness. Okay, and this I like to see when we are below the trigger line and the move, the market is going down, the trend is on a downside, and we get uptrust appearing. Then this is wonderful if it does, because then you can go short. But right now, what is going on in this particular bar? The last 2 hours, the previous hour was a down bar, and now this one here on this hour, which is still got another 27 minutes to go, is a down bar. Now, what is going on in your relative volume? This is something you need to understand, and this is what we do in the room. We always talk about it. And volume means activity. Activity from who? The professionals. Okay, and we want to be on the step of the professionals. Now, was it yesterday, John? I was looking at the sentiment. I think you were not in the room at some point, but I was checking the forex sentiment, and people were going short. Let me actually bring that up. Look, on the Euro USD, 75%, or let's have a look at the GBP USD. 78% were going short, and 22% were going long. And this was the case also yesterday as well. And you could see the market was pushing up. You can see the general trend is up. Now, does that mean that you want to trade this? You cannot trade this on a short? Of course you can, on a lower time frame. So you get in and out quicker and you make some profit. But if you're a swing trader and you want to leave your trade open, John, I mean, looking at this chart, if you want to leave your trade open, what would you want to do? Do you want to go short or long?
You want to go long.
You want to go long. Absolutely correct. So you can see that the market is generally going up. So why would you want to go short? Does that mean, I mean, I'm talking about swing trading. There's two different types of trade, or many types of trading, but there's a two major category that you need to understand. You're either a swing trader, where you leave your trade open for a long time, as John did yesterday, left it overnight. You can do that if you wanted to. If you know what you're doing, you can do that, because you know you'll be successful. Okay, So if I want to leave this open overnight, and if I start buying at this area here, where the potential professional have been buying, and the market is generally going up, and then I do that. If my fund allows me to do so, I do that. But does that mean in this area here, if I'm trading the 1 minute chart or 5 minutes chart, would I want to be buying there or selling? I would want to be selling. Now, if you go to the, say, 5 minutes chart, and just expand this a bit so you see, and I'll just explain to you. PS has appeared there. Okay, that's the PS. You got no demand. Change of behavior is gone below the trigger line and it's continue going down. So on a 5 minutes chart, yes, you can trade this on a short, but only for a short period of time. So it all depends on what kind of trader you are and what makes you happy in a sense. And at the end of the day, you all want to make money. That's what we want to do. We don't want to lose money. So we want to go where the professionals are going, and you want to be going in a trade when the trend is there. There is a trend alignment. And what do I mean by trend? I think there are a lot of you here who might not know what it means. The trend is basically when the market is either going down, that's the downtrend, or if it's going up, it's an uptrend. And multiple time frame means that you check your multiple time frames to your 5 minutes chart if you're doing a 5 minutes chart. And from 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, they all have got the same color of alignment. Same, that's what it's called, alignment. They're all in the same color going down, for example. And then you wait until you go below the trigger line. Look like that right now on a 5 minute chart. I think getting to the London fix, the pound will drop a bit further after that. Okay, you got potential professional selling. Would I enter that trade on a short? Not yet. I haven't seen no demand there. Now let me have a look. I might have potentially a trade set up in that area. Let's have a look. And the way I check it, I look at the 1 minute chart. Got no demand there. Got no demand there. Okay, that no demand is important for me. I look at the 2 minutes chart. Nothing there. On 3 minutes chart, I got PS there, failed test. That's just almost like a no demand to me. When it's a weakness, we're below the trigger line. That's fine. 4 minutes chart, nothing there. And the 5 minutes chart. So the only no demand I had was on the 1 minute chart, which appeared there. So if you would have marked that, and you go to your 5 minutes chart, there you go. That's where the no demand happened, the 1 minute chart. Now, would I enter there as a short trade? No. There's rules that you need to follow. You got potential professional selling getting confirmed. That's checklist number 1. Checklist number 2, you get no demand in the lower time frame or your own time frame. Checklist number 3, you wait for a change of behavior. And checklist number 4, you need to be below the trigger lines that have appeared for you. And then that would have been an entry point on an up bar. Whenever it was an up bar, you could have entered as 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes trade that you could have taken successfully there. So this is what we do in the room, and this is what I show on a regular basis. And you know, uh, John, I had somebody who was in the room for a while, and he sent me an email and says, "Oh, I've been part of your room for 3 months, and I've been making money." And now 2 months after, when he left the room, he basically sent me an email and said that since I left your room, I'm losing money. What's going on?
Not following the rules, most likely.
Exactly, exactly. Uh, Tom is asking why trigger lines are not drawn from biggest volume bar. Well, the trigger, uh, you mean you're talking about this, right? If you're talking about this type of volume bar, the reason the trigger line hasn't happened, what do we call that, John? When this happens in the news, why is it? Why is it so much is happening in the market?
Ultra high volume.
Yeah, ultra high volume. But what is the market makers trying to do?
Oh, they're trying to trap everybody into both directions.
Absolutely, manipulation. This is what it is manipulation. That's why you don't get a potential professional selling or a potential professional buying. This is manipulation, Tom. Okay, so that's why we don't get a trigger line appearing. But sometimes we do, if there is no manipulation involved, if there is really volume involved. But this is manipulation. People been going short since the morning. What do? They take them all out, all the sellers out of the way. All of these 78% of the retail trader were shorting the pound. And what do? Push it up, manipulate the market, get the sellers out of the way, and that's what they do. And that's what we don't get a trigger line, because it's manipulation. But it's interesting. When it happens, this manipulation, you wait. You draw a line above it, Tom, and you draw a line below it. And this should work as your support and resistance line. And that's what I do. So if for example, this continues to come down and breaks this line, I'm already below the trigger line. And if I see no demands appearing, uptrust happening, then it will come further down. Now, if it does go up above that level and it changes behavior and goes up and goes above that level and we get more tests or shakeout, then yes, I'll be looking to go long. But I don't think that will happen today. This is just going to go sort of like up and down, up and down, up and down. It's going to go sideways. There's not going to be much trading as far as the swing trade is concerned. There's no trade possible here for me yet. Okay. Tom saying supply coming in. Yeah, it could be supply coming in. But then again, we will see that if we see a change of behavior pushing up further. Or it might not do. So we will wait and see what is going to happen before we make our decision to take a trade. We will not enter this trade yet. And there's another thing, John. How much did you work on your patience when you're trading? I mean, was it difficult at the beginning for you?
Virtually impossible.
It's very difficult, isn't it?
Very difficult. As soon as sim trading is one thing, but once you have real money on the line, it totally changes your perspective. And so you lose your patience as soon as you see green. You're taking profit, and but you're going to let the losers run. It's a very strange phenomenon that we all have to deal with. The whole mentality of trading. Once you figure out the mental side of it, you'll start winning. Even if you have limited knowledge, but mentally is way more important to get that in line than actual strategy, because you can't stick to your strategy if you don't have the mental in line.
Absolutely correct. I mean, you need to have that belief system in yourself, and also believe in what you're doing that is correct, and then prove it to yourself. And if you fail the first time, second time, third time, don't give up, because it you're making money, I'm making money, there's the fund is making money. So therefore the principle of VSA is not wrong, because people are making money with it. You understand? So if you're not making money yourself when you started to do it, then you would say, well, you know but I'm not making money with it. Why? Because you haven't understood it. And that's the reason we've got the room, a live trading room, not only talk about the theory behind it and explain what is going on, but also put it into practice. I put it into practice. You don't need to do it. You can just sit and watch and learn, and then you put it into practice for yourself. And it is sometimes overwhelming, isn't it, John, when you start doing trading? For people who just start doing it or start to pick it up, it's a bit overwhelming doing like multiple instruments at the same time, isn't it? I mean, I don't know how you see that as a newcomer. If you're a newcomer, do you think it's a bit overwhelming for them to understand, when to take a trade or which instrument to trade and all of that?
Definitely. I searched, I scanned, I did all that stuff for stocks and things that were moving. And I find what I did was I basically focus on the S&P 500 or the Nasdaq, just because it's so volatile and moves so much that you can study it and actually learn the personality of that particular instrument. And then you can just follow those all day long. Yeah, and then just focus on that. You believe me, you can make enough money going up and down on those, than having to move around. Each individual instrument has its own personality, and when you're flying around trying to just take signals and get in and get out, it makes it very difficult.
Yeah, absolutely correct. Yeah. So with the pound, with the cable, we're reaching the London fix now, and you can see really we're still in the range of the news. Really, not really doing much, as far as the trade concerns. And you can see with the volume that the activity is not there from the professional. So the retail traders now fighting it out between themselves. Somebody's buying, somebody's selling, but really, for me, I think that the pound would be good to trade next week, John. It looks like it probably be a good setup potentially for on a downside. So,
Yeah,
yeah, go on, carry on.
yeah, it looks that way.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the background, you can see that, and really, if it does come down below that level, and this will probably go a bit further down, and we probably potentially get a good trade on a downside with the pound against the USD. What's going on in the US, John, with the banking system? Is it that they're trying to sort it out still, or is it still having issues?
I think they've kind of sorted it out. It's not as much in the news right now as Trump being indicted yesterday. So,
Yeah,
they've forgotten all their banking woes for now. They've had a lot of they've within the banking industry, they've bailed each other out. There's been no government bailout. So, by the looks of the markets, the market doesn't care.
yeah. No, they don't. No, they don't. Yeah, you're
the
absolutely
market the
right.
mar- the market's living in a different world, so don't get confused with the news and the market. Look
Yeah,
at don't even listen to news. Know when the news is coming up. React off take your trades off the reaction to the news, but watch the charts. That's all you need to look at. The news is just going to screw you up.
yeah. Well, Greg is asking, do you have this room open on regular basis? Well, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays, when time permits. Of course, if there are holidays or if there are other webinars going on, we have a stop to it. But really, yes, it's always once there's nothing going on in that week. Tuesdays, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, from 12:30 p.m. in the UK, right to 4:30. And if there are trades going on, we carry on with it. If there's nothing going on, we all agree. We all, I will ask everyone in the room, "Oh, do you want to carry on with it?" And they say, "Oh no, there's nothing happening. Everything going sideways. Let's give up. Let's finish it and then have it for tomorrow." And oh yeah, the potential short just clicked. I did put that in the room, and potential short for the Euro USD. And look, the pound is also starting to drop now. The near London fixed 10 minutes. Quite interesting. This is a trade on a short. Look, is that manipulation, John? Or is it a news going on?
Interesting.
Is there a news going on?
I don't think so.
What time is it now? 4.
US had news at the top of the hour.
Yeah. And then 4 o'clock, there's news coming out with a speaker in the ECB in the euro, but it's another 10 minutes away. I don't know what's going on.
Might be a little stop hunt there. Might be a little, I didn't see that reaction on the S&P 500. So
yeah, no, it's the you could see that potential professional selling appeared on the Euro USD chart. On the 1 minute chart, you had an uptrust and change of behavior, and you've gone lower. And the no demand did not get confirmed. But let me have a look at the lower time frame to my 1 minute chart. Yeah, I think what they're doing is, now it's gone below that level now. And if it continues going lower now, it's going to go lower. Yeah, it's definitely going to go lower. So, and you got 1 minute, you got just potential professional buying just appeared now. But, I have a feeling the weakness starting to appear now. The cracks are starting to appear. So on the Euro USD and the pound against USD, you're probably going to see a little bit of drop in prices. And you could see that weakness is there, isn't it? I mean, you could see that from your chart and the background of your chart. You could see that loads of no demands, up trusts, potential professional sellings. Really, yeah. Tom saying I was right. Supply coming in. Yeah, you were right. Supply is coming in, but really, we want to see what principles appear on our chart before we make a decision to enter a trade. But now I can see now they're probably going to be having a lower price, so it's short setup probably is going to happen for the Euro USD, and you just wait for it to obviously get another no demand now, and then you can enter this trade. It will go lower. So, yep, absolutely correct. So, yeah, coming back to the opening times of the room, happens on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Greg, and from 12:30 p.m. UK time to 4:30 p.m. When time permits. And when I say that, we've got several webinars happening throughout the week sometimes. And if we have got webinars going on happening, then we all join that webinar. But usually that is the case. Right. Let's see. I was wondering if I could have taken a quick trade on this downside on the Euro USD. Yeah, I want to see no demand now, but it does look like it's going further down. So if we get no demands appearing now, it's a good time to enter the trade or an uptrust. Oh, got no demand on a 15-second, but we got also a shakeout, but still we're below the shakeout now and below the trigger line. This is going to go lower. So it's a good entry point for anybody who wants to short the trade. It's just that make sure that you get a no demand now in your chart that you're going to trade. and you're below the trigger line, and you got continuous weakness, trend alignment, and you could enter the trade on a short. A 5 minutes chart, potential professional buying has appeared also, but let's see if it gets confirmed. I doubt it. From looking at the lower time frame, I could see that this is not going to get confirmed either. So you can see potentially a slight breakdown coming into effect. 10 minutes chart. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. The behavior hasn't changed, but there is a no demand. And if it gets confirmed and you see a behavioral changes, that's the entry point on your 10 minutes chart. You've got potential professional selling, and this is going to go potentially lower once this no demands get confirmed and you have a change of behavior to the downside. So I did say correctly in a sense that if it breaks that line, the lower line, we were going to see a breakdown. This breakdown starting to happen. Look, in the news, they made the market not go too much higher or lower, kept it more or less within the range. And now, finally, the breakdown is happening. And this will go lower. Are you in a trade right now, John, or are you just sitting on the side at the moment?
I'm sitting on the side. It's
Yeah.
hard for me to concentrate on a couple things. I get pretty focused on trading when I'm in the zone.
Yeah, so you've been I mean, I'm doing I do a trade. I've got email, I've got what 15 20 screens and 20 different things around me, and I do the trade. I answer emails, I answer WhatsApp group people, I talk to the chat people in the room. So
Yeah, you're quite the multitasker, that's for sure.
yeah, and I do the 5-second chart, which is quite
Yeah.
crazy sometimes. But it's enjoyable. You see, once you know what you're doing and you get into a trade and put yourself in a profitable place, which I try to do as soon as I can most of the time. Once I get into the right trade and I put myself you put your stop loss in a profitable place, then it becomes fun, doesn't it? You just enjoy it, and it's enjoyable if you do it properly. So Greg is asking, volume on currencies, are they real? Where these currencies are traded? Well, with the major banks, Greg. And volume, of course, is volume on currencies. Of course, they're real, isn't it, John? I'm sure
Yeah,
there's volume currencies.
there's a whole myth about how
Yeah.
volume doesn't make sense on it. It's all relative to the broker, what their prices are. It's volume is volume, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Let's not forget, Greg, here on the right-hand side of your where I'm pointing to, look at the numbers. The volume is the number, okay? So when professionals or the institutions trade, they trade with numbers, all right? Say, for example, they come in and they put, I don't know, 10,000 contract into buying or selling in this case. And when you get this volume creating on your volume analysis is basically the number of trades that are going to happen. Now, does that mean in this volume here with an up bar, does that mean it's only been buying? No, there's also been selling. But because this volume is quite high as an up volume, because there's more buying going on than selling. But there's always numbers. You can see on the right hand side the numbers that appear in this volume. Look, at the moment is 3.775K. So these are the volumes that are created. Is for you to see, okay, which ones have been the largest volume that they have been selling or been buying. That's all it is to help you and guide you to your trade. But there is definitely there. Of course, there is volume on currencies. I've seen it, and I do it. Okay, and they are real. So, any more question from anyone? I think we done good today at the event. I hope for those of you who are listening and not part of the trading room, that you consider and joining us as the part of a good community. I think we are creating a good team, John. We got good people in the trading room, no?
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're all like very, very good. They always talk to each other, and they always. We got obviously the WhatsApp group and Telegram group, which you could put in your charts and discuss with your fellow traders when the trading room is not running as well. And it's very, very important to be part of that group, and it would help you to make your trading better and better, and basically trim down your methodology and make it more perfect. As simple as that. So Greg saying, okay, is the volume at some specific stock exchange? Greg, you see the volume happens with the big institutions, big professional traders that trade across the world in the stock exchanges. Yes. And when they put in high numbers, I cannot get into it now, but if you join the room, I will explain to you further. And then you will see exactly how those professional traders actually trade. But right now, I can't get into it because there's not much time left. But please, everyone, if you want to find out more on Trade to Win, go to the Trade to Win website. There is a chat area always there available for you, and you can just go ahead and connect with that person. It's a real person, it's not computer or anything like that. We're always manning it all the time. So I think it's manned at the moment 18 hours a day. So whatever issues you might have, you can just go and chat to that person. Look at for more further events that are going to be put up onto the website if you did enjoy it. And in the future events, I will try to see if we can change the time and date and potentially put it in a time and a date that we could potentially take some trades. So I will try to discuss that with my colleagues and sort that out. But as far as that concerned, John, is there a last word you want to say before we finish up for this event?
All I'd like to say is I recommend getting involved with the with Trade Guider, Trade to Win, especially the live trading room. I've found it not only it's great to be a part of a team, but it just repeats the process mentally and also with the rules. And it's the easiest way to learn. It's not that easy to grasp some of these things on your own, but when you can ask questions and get answers, and it really makes a huge difference, and it will make a huge difference in your trading like it did for me as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, John. Have a lovely weekend, John, by the way, and enjoy the rest of the day in good old USA.
Thank you, Herm. You do the same. Everybody else as well.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being part of this event. Thank you very much. Thank you, Paul. Thank you for your comments. And thank you, everyone else. I hope you enjoyed today's event, and hopefully we will have more events. For sure, we will have some more events, and hopefully we can do some more trades going at that particular event if we can. But thank you very much, everyone. Have a lovely rest of the day, and have a lovely, lovely weekend. Thank you very much. Bye for now.